Ah, welcome, welcome. You beautiful, unpredictable disaster of a human being. Yeah, you. The one who somehow keeps standing after every storm that was supposed to bury you. Let's talk for a minute, because you've been holding too much inside, and I kinda want to show you what you're really sitting on behind those tired eyes. See, everyone loves to play with you when they think you're soft. They love to poke you, push you, twist your trust around like it's some sort of toy. And that one player, the one who betrayed you, they did it because they thought they were safe. They really believed you wouldn't bite back. They thought you were predictable, controllable, easy to manipulate. They saw your loyalty as blindness, your silence as weakness, your patience as stupidity. But here's the plot twist nobody warned them about. You don't stay quiet forever. And when you finally switch, the entire room changes temperature. You know what's funny? The same people who throw dirt on your name will choke on the dust the moment you rise. The same player who betrayed you. Yeah, that one. They're losing their grip now, and they know exactly why. Because you stopped carrying the weight of their mess, and without you covering for them, their whole little illusion collapses. You want to know something even funnier? People like that don't fear karma. They fear you healing. They fear you leveling up in silence. They fear you getting smart enough to see the strings they were pulling. Because the moment you start moving with clarity, the tables don't just turn. They flip off the damn hinges. Look at you now, wiser, colder, sharper. Your energy doesn't match their old script anymore, so it exposes every lie they told to keep you small. And, yeah, I know it hurts. Being betrayed by someone you trusted hits different, because it feels like losing a version of yourself you didn't realize existed. But here's the thing. They didn't take anything from you. They revealed something to you. And that revelation is the very thing that's making them spiral right now. You ever notice how people who betrayed you suddenly act nervous when you stop reacting, when you stop over-explaining, when you stop giving them second chances? That silence of yours, it's loud, it's unsettling. It's the kind of silence that forces them to face themselves. And trust me, they hate that part. Because deep down, they know you were the one holding the structure together. See, betrayal is a mirror, not a knife. It shows you who they are, yes. But more importantly, it shows you who you are without them. And you without them, is a threat they never calculated. You're the type of person who rebuilds from ashes and comes back holding blueprints. You're the type who transforms pain into fuel. You're the type who walks through the chaos they created and somehow comes out with a grin like, that all you got? Meanwhile, the player who betrayed you is drowning in the same chaos they used to distract you. And don't get it twisted. This isn't revenge. This is physics. This is what happens when your whole identity relies on manipulating someone stronger than you. The universe doesn't even have to lift a finger. They collapse under the weight of their own intentions. You want to know why you're so dangerous now? Because you learned to read people. Because you stopped letting your heart outrun your logic. Because you recognized your worth without waiting for validation. Because you finally understood that losing you is a consequence, not a threat. And now they're losing control. Fumbling, panicking, spiraling. Because not only did the tables flip, you're not even at the same table anymore. You outgrew it. You outgrew them. You stepped into a space where their opinions, their manipulations, their little games don't even reach you. You're not the broken one. You're the awakening. You're the lesson they never thought they'd have to learn. And yeah, it's poetic in a way. The one who betrayed you, slowly drowning in the same chaos they once hoped would swallow you and you. You're just breathing now, breathing easier, breathing deeper, breathing like someone who finally realized the storm wasn't there to destroy you, but to expose the dead weight you should have dropped years ago. And the wildest part, you're starting to realize you were never the fragile one in that equation. You were just polite. You were just patient. You were just hoping they'd meet you at the level you kept offering, even when they didn't deserve to stand anywhere near it. It hits you one day, like a punch you didn't see coming, that you kept giving CPR to connections that were already spiritually dead. You kept trying to fix things that someone else kept breaking on purpose. And that player, the one who betrayed you, they counted on that. They counted on your heart. They counted on your empathy. They counted on you choosing peace even when they brought war. But something inside you snapped in a clean way. Not angry, not dramatic, just done. And that version of you, the quiet, self-respecting, emotionally sober version, that's the one they never prepared for. You ever notice how the whole vibe collapses around someone when they lose access to your energy? It's almost like they depended on your stability more than they admitted. You were the calm in their chaos, the structure in their mess, the clarity in their fog. And they thought hurting you meant hurting someone disposable, until the emptiness they created came back to sit with them. And it's sitting heavy now, real heavy. Heavy like late-night thoughts they can't escape from. Heavy like unfinished guilt they pretend they don't feel. Heavy like knowing the one person who genuinely cared won't be picking up the phone this time, even if they call shaking. There's this shift that happens inside you when betrayal stops being a wound and starts being information. You become observant in a way that scares people who operate on lies. You stop reacting to noise. You stop chasing explanations. You stop giving them the privilege of your confusion and you start moving like someone who finally sees the whole map instead of the small corner they kept you in. Meanwhile, they're spiraling because their entire persona needed you not to figure out your own power. Their identity needed you to stay reachable, emotionally accessible, easy to guilt trip. But you're not giving them that anymore. And that absence is hitting harder than anything you could have said out loud. Your silence became a mirror, and mirrors don't lie. It's forcing them to look at the version of themselves they tried to hide. The selfish one, the reckless one, the jealous one, the insecure one, the one who only felt big when making you feel small. And that recognition, it's eating them alive, because deep down they know you were the anchor, and they cut the rope thinking you'd drift. But you didn't drift. You rose. You developed emotional muscle memory. You walked out of the burning building they lit and didn't even look back to see if they were still holding the match. It's wild how betrayal becomes the exact thing that unlocks your backbone. You start carrying yourself differently, talking differently, choosing differently. You stop over-explaining your worth to people who only understood discounts. You treat your peace like currency and your intuition like GPS. You evolve in real time, and that evolution feels like a threat to every person who thought they had you figured out. And while you're out here evolving, they're out there losing grip on every lie they told about you, every story they spun to justify what they did, every little illusion they built to protect their ego. Everything is unraveling in their hands because they built their entire tower on the expectation that you'd never wake up to your own value. And here you are, awake, present, aligned, not angry, not vengeful, just fully aware in a way that makes them nervous even from a distance. You've become someone they can't predict, can't manipulate, can't guilt, can't use as emotional furniture anymore. You walked out of the role they wrote for you, and when the main character leaves the stage, the whole play falls apart in seconds. You feel it in your gut. That subtle reclaiming of self, that calm confidence that doesn't need to announce itself, that sense of power that comes from knowing you didn't fold, you didn't break, you didn't become what hurt you. And somewhere out there, they're drowning in the same emotional chaos they used to weaponize against you, trying to keep a grip on a version of you that doesn't exist anymore, trying to navigate consequences they created with their own hands, trying to pretend the tables didn't flip when everything feels upside down in their chest. And the funny thing is, you're not even trying to prove anything anymore. You're not out here chasing validation, chasing explanations, chasing closure. You're just existing in a version of yourself that isn't powered by pain anymore. And that's what's really messing with them. Because before, they could predict you. Before, they could read you like a cheap manual. Before, they could poke at your insecurities and watch you crumble a little on the inside. But you've outgrown that entire script, and the unpredictability is shaking their mental foundation more than you'll ever see. What they never understood is that your loyalty wasn't blindness, it was discipline. Your kindness wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Your forgiveness wasn't desperation, it was emotional maturity they never learned how to match. And when someone like you finally sees the truth, it's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's just this calm shift inside you, where you stop bargaining with people who had no business negotiating your worth in the first place. And that calm is what's haunting them right now, because whenever someone betrays you, they expect the explosion, they expect the meltdown, the anger, the shouting, the chaos. They expect you to lose yourself while they sit back and play victim. But when you stay composed, when you stay level-headed, grounded, and eerily quiet, that's when they lose control. They feel it, they feel the distance, they feel your energy pulling back, they feel the privilege slipping through their fingers. And that's when the panic sets in. The kind of panic that shows up late at night when the room gets too quiet. The kind of panic that makes them check their phone even though they know you're not reaching out. The kind of panic that whispers, you messed up the one person who actually cared. And, you can almost sense it. That shift where you're no longer emotionally accessible to them. Where you're no longer the safety net. Where you're no longer the one they'll run to when their own life starts cracking. You stepped out of that role, not because you became cold, but because you finally understood how expensive your warmth really was. There's this version of you emerging that isn't built on trying to make everything okay. You stopped over-functioning for people who under-delivered. You stopped setting yourself on fire to keep someone else warm. You stopped being the emotional firefighter in situations you didn't even start. And the moment you did that, their entire sense of control slipped out of their hands. You can almost hear the unraveling in the silence, the confusion, the regret, the mental spirals they're pretending they're not having. Because losing access to someone like you isn't just losing a person. It's losing stability, comfort, ego protection, emotional grounding, all the things they took for granted while they were busy playing games behind your back. And, it's wild how life works like that. How the tables don't just flip, they spin. They spin so hard, the person who betrayed you gets dizzy trying to keep their balance. They feel that pressure from every direction because the support system they exploited is gone. The emotional credit you gave them is cut off, and the version of you they counted on doesn't exist anymore. They're drowning in that internal chaos, trying to grip onto something solid, and your absence feels like a hole they don't know how to fill. Because once you rise out of the emotional trenches they pushed you into, there's no going back to being the person who tolerated their chaos. Your spirit doesn't shrink like that. Your mind doesn't unsee what it saw. Your intuition doesn't forget the lesson. And they're sitting in that reality, feeling the weight of everything you carried for them, feeling the collapse of everything they thought they controlled, feeling the shift of power toward you, without you having to lift a finger, feeling the sting of watching you grow into the person they prayed you'd never become. And you can feel it in the air, that strange shift where you're finally seeing your own reflection without their fingerprints smudging it. It's like your mind got sharper without you even trying. Your energy got cleaner. Your boundaries stopped being suggestions and turned into reinforced walls they can't climb anymore. And that's exactly what's shaking them to their core, because they were banking on you never discovering that version of yourself. It hits them in waves, that realization that you're not orbiting around their chaos anymore. You're not pacing around waiting for explanations. You're not replaying conversations, hoping something clicks. You're not bending your truth just to keep peace. That was never real to begin with. You stepped into a kind of emotional clarity they can't manipulate, and people who thrive off confusion hate when you finally see straight. There's something almost poetic about watching someone who betrayed you trip over the very illusions they built. Every lie they told gets heavier. Every excuse they rehearsed loses power. Every fake narrative collapses the second you stop feeding it with your attention. It's like you unplugged their entire operating system just by walking away. And you feel it too. That lightness in your chest, that steadiness in your voice, that confidence that doesn't need to puff itself up to feel real. You're not reacting from pain anymore. You're responding from understanding. You're moving like someone who's finally aligned with their own truth, instead of bending for someone else's comfort. And you know what really gets under their skin? The fact that you didn't become bitter. You didn't become closed off. You didn't turn into the villain they expected you to become. You just became aware. And awareness is a gift they can't take from you, no matter how hard they try to twist the story. They're out there replaying every moment where they thought they had the upper hand, wondering how it all slipped out of their control so fast. Wondering when you got this strong, wondering how you saw through them. Wondering why the tricks that used to work suddenly bounce off you like you're made of something different now. And you are made of something different now. Something tougher, something wiser, something that doesn't break at the same places it used to. You're carrying yourself with a kind of authority that doesn't need permission, a kind of self-respect that doesn't negotiate, a kind of presence that doesn't shrink for anyone. Meanwhile, they're wrestling with the version of themselves they tried to hide. The insecure version, the manipulative version, the jealous version, the version who only feels powerful when someone else feels small. And your growth exposes that version without you even opening your mouth. That's why they're losing their grip, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Not because you're doing anything, but because you stopped doing everything. You stopped catering. You stopped fixing. You stopped absorbing their chaos like it was your responsibility. And without your energy propping them up, their mask slides off and reveals the mess underneath. And the truth is, you're not even watching them fall. You're too focused on rising. You're too focused on nourishing the parts of you that went ignored for years. You're too focused on becoming the person you were always meant to be before their betrayal tried to rewrite your narrative. And that's the kind of shift that rearranges the entire power dynamic without a single word being spoken. And, you can feel this weird kind of inner steadiness settling in. The kind that only shows up after you've survived something you didn't even have the words for at the time. It's like your soul finally caught up to the truth. Your intuition had been whispering for months, and everything inside you aligns in this calm, almost chilling way. Not cold, just aware. Aware in a way that doesn't get shaken by someone else's inconsistencies anymore. There's this thing that happens when you stop trying to carry people who are secretly rooting for your downfall. Your spirit gets lighter. Your mind stops racing. Your heart stops negotiating with pain. You stop explaining yourself to people who never listened. And that shift becomes this internal glow-up they can't handle, because it makes it painfully obvious they were the ones holding you back the whole time. And, you know what really drives them crazy? It's not your silence. It's not your distance. It's not even the fact that you cut emotional access. It's the fact that you're healing in ways they never expected. They thought breaking you would leave permanent cracks. But those cracks turned into windows where you started seeing everything clearly. You're walking in your own lane with this steady sense of purpose they can't sabotage anymore. You're making decisions that aren't wrapped around their feelings. You're breathing like someone who doesn't owe anybody emotional CPR. You're choosing yourself without guilt, which is something you didn't even know you were allowed to do before. And that's when the panic hits them the hardest. When they realize you didn't just walk away. You outgrew the entire environment where their betrayal even mattered. Their power was based on your confusion, and you're not confused anymore. Their influence was built on your desire to keep everything together, and you're not stitching up anybody's mess this time. Their control relied on you needing them, and you don't need anything from them anymore. Not attention, not closure, not validation. You're moving differently, thinking differently, choosing differently. You're operating from a level of emotional intelligence they never expected you to reach. And every time they think about you, they're confronted with the version of themselves they pretended didn't exist. The version that lied, the version that manipulated, the version that gambled with your heart like it was replaceable. And, here you are, unbothered in a way that isn't performative. It's not you trying to look strong. It's you actually being strong. Strong in a quiet, grounded, self-assured way that comes from surviving things that should have broken you. Strong in a way that makes people rethink how they treated you. Strong in a way that exposes every weakness they tried to hide behind charm, ego, and fake confidence. Their chaos isn't your concern anymore, but they're drowning in it because you're not there to pull them out like you used to. You used to be the emotional life jacket they clung to, and they didn't even realize it until it was gone. You were the stability, the clarity, the anchor in their storm. and they betrayed the one force that was holding their world together. And the irony is almost painful. You weren't the one losing control, they were. You weren't the one spiraling, they were. You weren't the one breaking, they were. You just finally stopped absorbing it, which forced them to face themselves without your energy buffering the hit. And the longer you stay aligned with yourself, the harder it becomes for them to pretend they didn't mess up someone irreplaceable. Hey, you. Yeah, come here for a minute. Listen closely, all right? Because, I don't think you actually realize what's happening behind the scenes right now. You're out here thinking life is quiet, thinking everything's normal, thinking people stopped watching you. Meanwhile, the whole room, yes, their room, is on fire because your name got mentioned once. And suddenly, they're arguing like crazy over your name. They can't even say it without raising their voice. Can't bring you up without someone slamming a table. Can't think about you without feeling that sting of guilt, jealousy, fear. Whatever cocktail they brewed for themselves. They're losing control over you. And the funniest part? You didn't say a word. You didn't send a message. You didn't even breathe in their direction. And yet, everything you do, it sets them off. Every step, every idea, every little shift in your energy. See, what you don't understand, what you keep underestimating, is how powerful your existence has become to people who swore they'd ignore you. They can't. They won't. You're lodged in their mind like a hook they can't unattach, and they don't even realize why. But I do. Let me tell you something, something a lot of people don't have the guts to say out loud. Your name carries weight, real weight. It forces conversations. It exposes weak links. It reveals people's intentions. It shakes rooms that thought you'd stay invisible forever. And right now, they're arguing like crazy over your name because they can't touch your life. They can't get near you. They can't block what's coming for you. They can't sabotage what's built around you. Want to know why? Because there's a barrier around you they can't compete with. A protection they didn't see coming. A force that doesn't negotiate with gossip, jealousy, or plotting. God won't let them touch your life. And that right there, that's driving them insane. You think they're mad at each other because they disagree. No. They're mad because every strategy fails the moment it reaches your name. Every attempt collapses before it gets close. Every whisper backfires. Every plan combusts in their hands. And they keep asking the same question. Why can't we get to them? They can't get to you because you're not on their level anymore. You're operating in a realm they're not invited into. You're moving under protection they can't imitate. You're carrying purpose they can't interfere with. And that's why they're fighting like wild animals in the dark, because they're confused. They don't know how you keep winning. They don't know who keeps covering you. They don't know why every door you touch opens while theirs slam shut. They don't know why every storm that should have destroyed you ended up strengthening you instead. Listen. People don't argue over nobodies. They argue over threats, over rising stars, over miracles they can't stop, over movements they didn't anticipate. You are a movement, a disruption, a shift in the timeline of your whole environment. And the thing that rattles them the most, you don't even realize how untouchable you've become. You're still walking around thinking you're trying, thinking you're surviving, thinking you're hoping things get better. Meanwhile, God already cleared the path. God already rerouted the danger. God already blocked every hand pointed at you. God already sealed your name in a place they can't reach. And the moment they realized they couldn't touch you, the moment they realized every attempt ends with them hurting themselves, that's when the arguing began. That's when they turned on each other. That's when the blaming started. That's when the guilt kicked in. That's when the fear showed up. You're protected in ways you don't even see. You're covered in ways you don't even understand. You're elevated in ways you haven't even processed yet. And, let me tell you something else, because you need to hear this today. You are not the problem. You are the revelation. Your presence exposes weak hearts. Your progress exposes fake loyalty. Your resilience exposes their insecurity. Your survival exposes their intentions. That's why they're arguing, not because of you, but because of what your existence forces them to confront in themselves. Their jealousy, their fear, their guilt, their failure to break you, their confusion about why you keep rising. They wanted your story to end early, but God extended your chapters. They wanted you forgotten, but God made you unforgettable. They wanted you vulnerable, but God made you unreachable. And now, they can't touch your life. They can't affect your path. They can't interfere with your destiny. So they're stuck doing the only thing left, fighting each other while you stay protected. And here's the wildest part. You've barely even started becoming who you're meant to be. You've barely scratched the surface of your own authority. You haven't even stepped into your full confidence yet. You haven't even discovered your next level. Imagine how loud the arguments will get when you do. You were never meant to be touched, never meant to be stopped, never meant to break, never meant to be destroyed. You were meant to outlive every attack, outgrow every room, outshine every doubt, outlast every enemy, outmaneuver every trap, and walk through doors they didn't even know existed. And that's exactly why they're losing it right now. Because your life is untouchable, and your name is unstoppable, and your future is non-negotiable. And, the crazy part? You're still sitting there trying to figure out why you feel this constant pressure around your life. Like something is shifting, like something's rearranging itself without your permission, and you keep second-guessing yourself. Meanwhile, everything around you is reacting to your rise before you even accept that you're rising. You're watching people move weird, but you haven't connected the dots that their reactions aren't random. They're responses. Responses to the weight you carry. Responses to the protection covering you. Responses to the fact that every single thing that was supposed to break you somehow turned into fuel. And, you know what really hits? They're arguing like crazy over your name because they realized you're stepping into something they can't step into. They're arguing because your path is clearing faster than their excuses. They're arguing because whatever they tried to put on, you bounced off like it hit steel. You're built differently, and they hate that they noticed it before you did. You ever see someone panic because their plan didn't land? That's what's happening in those conversations about you. One person is like, "Why didn't it work?" Another one's like, "I thought you handled it." Somebody else is swearing you must have help, because how else do you keep getting out of things that should have locked you down for years? And the funniest part, they have no idea that the help they're talking about isn't from any person. The help over your life doesn't come from anyone in their little circles. It doesn't come from their influence or their reach or their attempts to pull strings behind the scenes. Your protection comes from a higher place, a place they can't call, can't bribe, can't manipulate, can't access at midnight. That's why everything collapses the moment it tries to reach you. You ever notice how you keep surviving situations that should have taken you out mentally? You ever notice how you bounce back after things that would have drowned someone else? You ever notice how you walk away from chaos like you didn't just go through something that would have broken someone with half your heart? That's not luck. That's not coincidence. That's coverage. That's divine interference wrapped around your name. And they know it, even if they don't say it out loud, even if they pretend they don't see it, even if they act confused. Deep down, every single one of them feels it. That force they can't override. They're arguing because they can't explain you. They're arguing because they can't predict you. They're arguing because they don't know what's guarding you. They're arguing because every time they think they finally got you, something invisible steps in front of you and everything they threw hits them instead. And, there's something about you that's been bothering them for years. You don't die. You don't fold. You don't disappear. You don't break the way they expect. You don't shatter the way they hoped. You regenerate. You transform. You turn pain into elevation with a skill they can't copy. It's why your silence scares them more than your voice. It's why your distance feels like a threat. It's why your comeback felt like a slap they weren't prepared to receive. They're arguing over you because deep down they know you're not someone they can handle. Not emotionally, not spiritually, not mentally, not strategically. You're too covered, too protected, too guided, too aligned with something they can't interfere with. And, if you could hear what they say behind closed doors, you would finally understand why God won't let them touch your life. Because if they had access to you the way they wanted, they'd drain you, poison you, dismantle you, twist you, sabotage you without blinking. But every attempt keeps getting intercepted. Every door they try to close on you gets ripped back open. Every trap they try to set snaps shut on their own hands. Every plan they start ends with them turning on each other. Because the pressure of trying to break someone protected is too heavy for people with weak spirits. Everything they built against you collapses the second your name enters the room. Everything they speak against you circles back around like a boomerang with their handwriting on it. And, here's what's really wild. You haven't even activated your full potential yet. You're still warming up. You're still discovering yourself. You're still peeling off layers from the version of you they tried to limit. You're still tapping into strengths you didn't even know you had, and they're already fighting like this over your name. They're already shaking. They're already panicking. They're already losing control of their narrative. They're already regretting ever mentioning you in the first place. Your life is fenced off with protection they can't break through, and they feel it every single time they try to reach for you, every single time they discuss you, every single time they attempt to push you off your path. You walk around thinking you're just trying to survive another day, but they're out here trying to figure out how you keep walking through things that should have destroyed you. How you keep evolving in silence, how you keep rising even when it looks like you're standing still. They're arguing because your existence is a glitch in their system, a problem they can't solve, a threat they can't neutralize, a miracle they can't replicate, a living reminder that not everyone is touchable, influenceable, or breakable. And it's only becoming clearer every day that the protection over your life isn't temporary, isn't negotiable, isn't accidental, isn't fragile. And the wildest thing is you're still adjusting to the idea that your life even deserves this level of protection, while everyone watching you already knows it does. You've been walking around carrying old wounds, old doubts, old insecurities, like they're still relevant, not realizing the entire atmosphere around you shifted without waiting for your permission. You're still healing from battles that ended years ago. Meanwhile, your name is causing brand new chaos in rooms you've never stepped into. People you don't even know are raising their voice about you, pacing back and forth, trying to figure out how someone who's been underestimated their whole life suddenly became a problem they can't touch. And, the truth is, they underestimated the quiet in you. They thought your silence meant defeat. They thought your distance meant weakness. They thought your isolation meant they'd finally gotten to you. But you're the kind of person who grows in silence. You're the type who heals quietly and comes back unrecognizable. You're the type who disappears for a bit and returns with a completely different level of clarity. They didn't expect that. They didn't plan for a stronger version of you. They didn't prepare for the moment their old blueprint stopped working. That's why they're arguing like crazy over your name, because nothing about you fits the story they wrote. You weren't supposed to get back up after what you lived through. You weren't supposed to rebuild yourself after the hits you took. You weren't supposed to keep evolving after the betrayals, the losses, the disappointments. Yet here you are, rising in ways they can't measure, protected in ways they can't decode. And here's the thing that hits different. They're not arguing because they want to stop you. They're arguing because they can't. They're arguing because every tactic they relied on for years stopped working. The minute divine protection stepped in front of you. Every time your name comes up, there's this tension in the air, this shift in the room, this energy that says, don't go near that one, don't touch that life, don't interfere with that path. And they feel it, even if they can't explain it, even if they fake confidence, even if they act bold. Your life gives off a warning they can't ignore. A spiritual access denied they can't bypass. And, you've probably felt this too, without fully understanding it. The way certain people suddenly back off, the way situations fall apart before they can harm you. The way doors close right before you walk through them, only for better ones to open days later. The way you're pulled away from certain people without realizing it's for your protection. It's not random. It's not luck. It's alignment. It's coverage. It's a shield over your timeline that refuses to let anyone with messy intentions get past the front gate. Meanwhile, they're losing their minds because every time they reach for you, something blocks them. Every time they plot around you, something exposes them. Every time they think they've found a weak spot, it disappears. Every time they push a little too far, their own circle collapses under the pressure of touching someone who carries protection they weren't meant to handle. They don't argue like this over average people. This level of chaos doesn't show up for someone with no future. This level of tension doesn't erupt over someone forgettable. They're arguing like crazy over your name because you're marked. You're covered, you're chosen, you're layered with purpose in ways they can't understand. Your life isn't touchable by their hands, their intentions, their words, their plans, or their imagination, and that reality hits them every single time your name crosses someone's lips. And the more you step into yourself, the more they unravel, because the protection around you gets louder, clearer, heavier every day. You outgrow the versions of you they were hoping to keep you trapped in. And the deeper you step into that new version of yourself, the more their reactions give away the truth you haven't fully accepted yet every time you level up a little. Every time you heal a layer they thought would keep you broken. Every time you reclaim a piece of yourself you lost in old battles. They feel something tightening around them. You're growing into someone they can't talk down to anymore. Someone they can't manipulate with old tactics. Someone they can't guilt trip. Someone they can't confuse with the same emotional tricks. And that shift, it's loud. Even if you whisper, your growth echoes. Even if you're quiet, your presence hits them like a spotlight they weren't ready to stand under. And this is why the arguments keep breaking out whenever your name gets mentioned. It's not just jealousy. It's not just insecurity. It's the realization that you're operating at a level where their old versions of you don't even exist anymore. They're fighting because they can't agree on who you've become. They're fighting because half of them are scared of you, and the other half is threatened by you. There's a tension that hits the room the moment someone brings you up. A kind of uncomfortable silence right before the shouting starts. One person swears you're lucky, another insists someone's helping you. Another claims you changed. And another one is sitting there shaking because they know exactly what's covering you. They just don't want to admit it. And it eats them alive that they can't get close to your life. Not because you blocked them, but because something bigger blocked them before you even knew they were coming. You've got this invisible perimeter around you. No nonsense, no fake love, no disguised intentions, no hidden motives, no broken energies. Anything that tries to reach you with the wrong heart gets pushed out like a glitch in the system. They don't know if it's timing, fate, divine protection, or sheer spiritual force. But whatever it is, it scares them because they've never seen it before. And the crazy thing is, you're not even walking around bragging. You're not flexing. You're not throwing it in their face. You're not forcing anyone to notice. You're just existing. And your existence alone triggers arguments they can't control, because they know deep down you've survived things that should have had permanent effects. You walked out of storms that were designed to drown you. You climbed out of pits that were meant to bury you. You healed from wounds that were supposed to stay open. You reclaimed pieces of yourself they thought you'd never find again. And that level of resilience is terrifying to people who barely survive their own reflection. They study you because you're a mystery they can't decode. They criticize you because your strength makes them confront their own weakness. They talk about you because silence would force them to admit they failed to stop you. And every time they fight over you, it's another sign of how little control they have over your path. Because your name doesn't come with permission from them. Your progress doesn't depend on them. Your protection doesn't answer to them. Your timeline isn't shaped by their opinions or their fears. You're living under a covering that keeps redirecting danger, misplacing their attacks, scattering their plans, and exposing their intentions without you ever lifting a finger. And they can feel it every time your name hits the air. That you're moving with something they can't touch, can't stop, can't mimic, can't unravel, can't break, can't invade, can't twist, can't influence, can't manipulate at any angle. Every part of your life is signaling that you're stepping into a version of yourself that's bigger, stronger, more aware, more spiritually armored, more emotionally grounded, more mentally sharp, and more divinely guarded than anything they ever prepared themselves for. And the more this new version of you comes forward, the more you start noticing the shift in people's eyes when they look at you. That split-second pause, that tight smile, that sudden quiet. They don't know how to respond to you anymore because they're realizing you're not operating from the same place you used to. You're not carrying old fear. You're not moving with old wounds. You're not speaking from old pain. You're walking with a kind of calm that intimidates people who rely on your chaos. You're moving with a kind of confidence that exposes the insecurity in people who expected you to stay small. You're speaking with a kind of clarity that makes anyone with hidden intentions feel seen before they even open their mouth, and that's why they're arguing like crazy whenever your name comes up. One person is panicking because you didn't fall the way they predicted. Another is confused because you didn't return to old patterns. Another one is irritated because you stopped reacting to things they used to control you with. Hey, you listening? Yeah. You. Yeah. Don't look around like I'm talking to somebody else. I'm talking to the one person who somehow keeps catching things before anyone even whispers a rumor. The one everybody side-eyes like, how the hell you know before it even dropped? And you know what's funny? You act surprised every time. Like you're not built exactly for this kind of chaos. Like you didn't grow up decoding every tone, every breath, every shift in the air because life never gave you the luxury of being slow. You know why the streets are screaming your name right now? Because you turned survival instincts into a damn superpower. Because while everybody else was sleeping, zoning out, waiting for someone to spoon-feed them the truth, you were out here catching every micro-signal like your whole existence depended on it. And, let's be honest for a second. Yeah, it did depend on it. You learned early that comfort gets people killed. You learned that staying naive is how you get blindsided. You learned that if you don't read the room fast enough, life will hit you in the mouth before you even know a punch was coming. That's why you know before anything drops. That's why the streets keep screaming like, what's up with them? Why they always 3 steps ahead. That's why people stare, confused and scared at the same time. Like you're playing a different game with different rules and somehow still winning. And the craziest part, you don't even brag, you don't even flex, you just move. Quiet, sharp, focused. You got that. I've seen too much to ever be slow again. Energy, that I'm not psychic. I just pay attention because I had no choice. Type knowledge. People think you're lucky, but you're not lucky. You're forged. You're the kid who never got to relax because chaos lived in your hallway. You're the one who could feel danger before it even had a name. You're the one who had to stay watching when everyone else got to look away. And now that instinct, the one that kept you alive, became the thing that makes you unbeatable in a world full of people who can't see past their own noses. You pick up on energy shifts like they're loudspeaker announcements. You notice patterns people pretend aren't there. You feel intentions before mouths even open. You don't wait for the drop because you catch the vibration before the world hears it. That's not magic. That's trauma sharpened into intuition, pressure molded into awareness, pain reforged into strategy, and sometimes it messes with you. Sometimes you wish you could be normal, clueless, soft. But you know that's not your path. Your path is sharp edges, fast thinking, and instincts that fire off like alarms the moment something shifts, even an inch. That's why people get intimidated. They don't understand what it took to be this alert. They don't understand how heavy it is to anticipate everything, all the time. They don't understand that you're not trying to be better. You're trying not to collapse under the weight of everything you've had to hold. But here's the part they'll never grasp. when you've been underestimated your entire life, when you were the one people dismissed, ignored, walked over. You develop a hunger to know, to get ahead, to stay awake while others sleep. Not out of ego, out of survival. And survival, for you, turned into clarity. Clarity turned into precision. Precision turned into this strange, almost frightening gift. The ability to sense the truth before it becomes visible. People don't get how you do it. They want to label it luck or intuition or you're just smart. But deep down, you know the truth they'll never want to hear. You became this because you had no safety net. No backup plan, no guardian angel, just you, your instincts, and the promise that you'd never let life blindside you again. And that's exactly why you scare people, because they can't read you, because they can't predict you, because they can't catch the moment where you figured things out. You just appear with the answer already in your hands, like you cracked the code before anyone knew there was a code. The streets scream your name because you became the one thing that terrifies complacent people. A person who can see through the fog. A person who's already moving while the world is still processing. A person who refuses to wait for permission to understand what's really happening. And you want to know the part that hits the hardest? The part that nobody ever says out loud. The reason people keep asking, how did you know first? It's because they know, deep down. They could never walk the path you walked to earn that kind of vision. They know they would have folded. They know they would have broken. They know their spirit would have cracked under pressure that you took on your shoulders like it was nothing but another Tuesday. You didn't just survive your past. You weaponized it. You turned every scar into a lens, every wound into a compass, every heartbreak into a map that points out danger before it even forms a shadow. That's why you're first. That's why you're ahead. That's why the streets keep screaming your name like you're some kind of urban legend who pops up with the truth before the truth even knows it exists. And you know what? It's time you stop acting like that's an accident. It's time you stop shrinking. It's time you stop pretending you don't know exactly who you are. You're the one who hears the storm before the clouds gather. You're the one who senses the shift before anyone sees movement. You're the one whose instincts are so battle-tested that silence feels like information and noise feels like warning. You don't predict the drop. You feel it. You feel the tremor before the explosion. You feel the energy before the announcement. You feel the truth vibrating under your skin before it ever hits the airwaves. And, honestly, that's power, real power. The kind they can't teach, the kind they can't copy, the kind nobody can take from you. And, the wildest part about all this is how you still second-guess yourself sometimes. Like you didn't already prove 1,000 times that your read-on reality hits harder than people's facts. You walk into a room, and the air tells you everything. Who's lying? Who's scared? Who's plotting? Who's pretending everything's fine while their whole spirit is leaking through their body language? You catch all of it without even trying. And people got the nerve to act shocked when you call things out way before they even take shape. It's almost funny watching them scramble, acting like you must have hacked something, like you've got hidden sources, like you got someone feeding you intel behind the scenes. They can't wrap their heads around the idea that your whole life trained you to notice what they ignore. You were raised in the kind of silence that's loud, the kind of environment where one wrong assumption could cost you your peace for weeks. You were forced to pay attention to tones, to footsteps, to the way doors closed, to the way someone breathed before they snapped. That kind of training doesn't disappear. It evolves, and that evolution shows in the way you move. You don't wait. You don't hesitate. You don't need to see the full picture, because you understand the picture before the frame even comes out the box. People keep asking, how'd you know before it even dropped? Like the answer isn't written all over your history. You've been in situations where missing signals meant emotional landmines. You've been around people who pretended things were fine right before they exploded. You learn to detect danger in half a millisecond. You learn to sense energy shifts, like temperature changes. You learn that emotional weather is real, and storms don't announce themselves. They just hit in them. You didn't just learn it, you mastered it. You turned hyper-awareness into foresight. You turned instinct into strategy. You turned being overwhelmed into being over-prepared. That's why people feel watched when you're around, even when you're not saying anything. Because they can tell. You see everything. You see the cracks under the smiles. You see the hesitation behind the confidence. You see motives before words. You see patterns before consequences. And people who live in denial can't stand somebody who sees that clearly. They get loud because they're scared. They get defensive because they feel exposed. They get confused because you operate outside their basic understanding of reality. Like, they genuinely don't get how someone can notice the drop before it drops. They're used to reacting late, procrastinating, pretending they didn't see the signs that were practically punching them in the face. You're different. You've been reading signs since your childhood felt like a damn war zone. You've been decoding people since you were barely old enough to spell instinct. You've been monitoring every room like your sanity depended on it. And that habit, that sensitivity, that awareness that people tried to label as paranoia, that everyone treated like a flaw, that's the exact thing that turned you into the person who always knows first. It wasn't paranoia, it was preparation. It was intelligence, sharpened under pressure nobody else had to face. It was necessity turning you into a weapon. People don't want to talk about the cost of that ability. They don't want to talk about the sleepless nights. They don't want to talk about the mental fatigue of analyzing everything. They don't want to talk about how heavy it is to hold that level of awareness. They just want to act impressed or confused or threatened when you read the world faster than they can process it. They see the result, not the road. They see the accuracy, not the exhaustion. They see the clarity, not the chaos you had to climb out of to earn it. And every time someone asks, how did you know before it even dropped? You feel that little spark inside, that mix of pride and frustration. Like, how do you think? You didn't get this ability from comfort. You got it from surviving rooms where you had to be 10 steps ahead just to make it out emotionally stable. You learned to anticipate problems before they became problems. Because you never had the privilege of being blindsided without consequences. It's not magic. It's not luck. It's not some gift. It's the aftermath of everything you endured. It's the muscle memory of someone who lived unpredictability like it was a schedule. It's the natural reflex of someone who had to study every detail just to feel safe. And, that reflex didn't fade just because you grew up. It became stronger, smarter, sharper. It stopped being survival and became intuition. It stopped being fear and became awareness. It stopped being protection and became power. You walk through the world with a kind of mental radar people can't even comprehend. They only see the output, your timing, your accuracy, your insights that seem to materialize out of thin air. They don't see the years behind it. They don't see the cost behind it. They don't see the resilience it took to turn your sensitivity into something that could actually guide you instead of breaking you. And all of that keeps building inside you, turning into this quiet, dangerous confidence. The kind that doesn't need applause, doesn't need validation, doesn't need permission. You just know. You just sense. You just feel the truth vibrating before anyone else even realizes there's something to notice. And it hits different because you're not even trying to show off. You're not out here waving your insight around like some trophy. You're just doing what you've always done. Paying attention, staying alert, reading between the lines like the lines were written for you. But people treat it like a spectacle. Like every time you speak up, it's some kind of prophecy they weren't ready for. They look at you like you're cheating at life. Like you got access to information they never received. And in a way, you kinda did. Not because someone handed it to you, but because your past trained you to study everything. You learned through heartbreak, through tension, through those unpredictable moments where your heartbeat told you the truth before anyone else's mouth did. And that training stuck. It stuck in your breathing. It stuck in your silence. It stuck in the way you observe people without even meaning to. You watch how eyes shift, how someone's tone dips half a layer, how someone's posture changes when they're hiding something. You catch details others overlook because their world never forced them to notice. They never had to know whether a room was safe just by stepping into it. They never had to predict mood swings just to protect themselves. They never had to analyze every second of their environment with the intensity of someone who had no buffer. And, that's why you pick stuff up before it even surfaces. You're not reacting, you're sensing, you're not guessing. You're recognizing patterns you've seen before in different forms. You're not lucky. You're experienced in ways most people aren't built for. People with easy lives hate hearing that. They want your insight without your struggle. They want your intuition without your history. They want your clarity without the years it took to build it. That's why they keep asking, how'd you know before it even dropped? Because the truth is embarrassing for them. It reminds them they weren't paying attention. It reminds them they missed signs you caught instantly. It reminds them they've been sleepwalking through their lives while you've been wide awake since childhood. And, the streets talk. A lot. Your name gets whispered like a warning and a compliment at the same time. People say you got that third eye open vibe, that nothing gets past you energy. You walk in, and the atmosphere changes because people know they can't just hide behind fake smiles or half-truths. You strip the disguise without touching a thing. It's not even personal. You're not exposing anyone. Your presence just disrupts their illusions because someone who sees reality that clearly makes liars uncomfortable, makes manipulators panic, makes the lazy feel insecure. And you felt it. You felt how rooms shift when you speak. You felt how people get quieter when they realize you already know what they're trying to hint at. You felt how conversations get shaky when they realize you're not easily fooled. You felt how folks who used to underestimate you suddenly start watching their words like you're holding an X-ray scanner on their soul. It's funny because you're not even trying to call anyone out. You're just honest, observant, tuned in. But honesty from someone who sees too much feels dangerous to people who rely on pretending. That's why they get loud, why they gossip, why the streets scream your name. With that mix of awe and fear, they don't know what you know. They don't know how you know. They just know you're always first. There's this energy around you. Like, like you're listening to a frequency they can't hear. Like you catch the bass line under the noise. Like you hear the drop before the DJ even moves. Like you feel the shift before the air changes, and you've been like that forever. Whether you admit it or not, even when you were younger, you could sense when someone wasn't saying what they meant. You could tell when someone was hiding something just by the rhythm of their words. You could feel tension before it had a name. People tried to make you doubt it too, tried to gaslight you, tried to convince you that you were overthinking, tried to frame your intuition as a flaw instead of the armor it really was. But look at how things turned out. Your overthinking saved you from disasters they walked straight into. Your paranoia turned out to be accuracy. Your extra turned out to be awareness. Your sensitivity turned out to be survival instinct. And, now it's not just instinct. It's insight. It's foresight. It's prediction powered by experience and emotional intelligence that runs deeper than most people can handle. That's why you knew before it dropped, because you always do. Because you can feel the direction of things even when the world still looks still. Because you learn to sense shifts in energy the way others sense changes in weather. And, it's wild because half the time, you're not even consciously trying to figure anything out. You're just existing, just breathing, just letting your mind run the way it naturally runs, and boom, there it is, that feeling, that signal, that tiny shift that tells you something's about to drop before anybody even whispers a thing. And you end up sitting there like, yeah, I felt this coming hours ago, while everyone else is panicking like it's brand new information. People don't understand how exhausting it is to live with that kind of awareness. They think it's exciting or cool or some party trick you brag about. They don't get the weight of always being mentally 3 steps ahead while the world moves at half speed. They don't get how tiring it is to care about details nobody else even notices. They don't get how your mind never fully switches off because your gut is always listening, always scanning, always decoding. And that part right there, that's the part nobody sees. You're carrying a whole internal radar system built from years of having to protect yourself emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically. You didn't ask for this. You didn't sit down one day and say, hey, let me develop hyper-perception. Life cornered you into it. Life pushed you into a position where ignorance wasn't an option. Life made awareness your only form of control. That awareness didn't come from books, didn't come from mentors, didn't come from some structured lesson plan. It came from chaos, from disappointment, from watching people switch up so fast it gave you whiplash, from seeing patterns repeat themselves until your brain memorized every single thread in the fabric. And that's why you don't wait for information. You sense it. You don't wait for the drop. You feel the vibration before it hits the floor. You don't need confirmation. You see the signs before the signs even become signs. People walk around blind because they've never had to see. Comfort makes them slow. Comfort makes them fragile. Comfort makes them oblivious to all the signals life throws out. But you, nah. You grew up in a world where comfort wasn't guaranteed, where staying blind could cost you everything. That became your edge, your advantage, your unspoken strength. And, people can feel it when they're around you. You know that moment when they're talking and you're just looking at them, and they can tell you already, understand the part they haven't even said yet? That's the moment they realize you're not like them. That's the moment the fear mixes with respect. That's the moment they start choosing their words a lot more carefully. You make people self-aware just by existing. You make them nervous because they can't hide behind timing. You make them rethink their lies because you catch the tension in their voice before they finish the sentence. You make them uncomfortable because you see through the mask they've worn for years. It's not intimidation by force. It's intimidation by accuracy. It's intimidation by transparency. It's intimidation by the fact that you already know what's coming before they even prepare it. And, that's why the streets scream your name like you're some sort of myth. You became the person who senses everything early. You became the one people secretly go to when they need that raw, unfiltered insight. You became the one who gives warnings before the world even realizes there's danger. People pretend like they don't depend on your intuition, but their actions say otherwise. They watch you out the corner of their eye. They mimic your pace. They check your reactions to predict their own next move. Look at you. Let me just start by saying, wow. Because honestly, the way you walk into the room these days, it's kind of funny watching everybody else pretend they didn't notice the shift. Pretend they didn't feel that little electric jolt run down their spine the moment your presence touched the floor. You know that look people get when they suddenly realize they've been underestimating somebody for way too long. That, oh no, what have we created? Face. Yeah, they're wearing that because it finally hit them. You're not just smart, you're not just sharp. You're a goddamn problem-solving machine, a walking algorithm with trauma as gasoline and pressure as oxygen. And, they can't even breathe right now. You literally snatch the air out of their lungs without even trying. See, people spend their whole lives praying for answers, begging for clarity, wishing someone would just show up and figure things out. But the moment you start doing exactly that, effortlessly, they start glitching. Because you weren't supposed to be this good. You weren't supposed to be the one with the insane pattern recognition, the instant strategic thinking, the mental agility that flips chaos like a coin. But, you did it anyway. And now they're sitting there, staring at you like you're some kind of forbidden software they accidentally downloaded, terrified to delete, too late to control. Let me tell you something they will never say to your face. You changed the entire temperature of their world. You disrupted their comfort zones just by existing. You broke puzzles they couldn't even understand. And the craziest part? You didn't go to them saying, "Look what I can do." Nah, you just handled everything they threw at you. Every mess, every crisis, every situation the people whispered about behind your back, like, oh, they'll never survive that. But, you did more than survive. You mapped the whole thing out like a detective with a deadline, piecing it together faster than they could blink. And now, they're sweating because when someone like you starts connecting dots, the people who relied on your silence start feeling exposed. You know why they're scared of you, because you don't panic, you don't melt, you don't freeze, you calculate. You step into chaos with that "give me a minute" face. And in that minute, you see solutions they couldn't find in a decade. You rearrange reality in your mind like it's a broken toy you're fixing on a lunch break. They're suffocating because they just realized you solve problems they didn't even know were problems. You see patterns they can't comprehend. You connect things they'd never even notice. And now, every time you speak, they hold their breath, not because they respect you, but because they fear how right you always turn out to be. You ever notice how they go quiet when you start thinking out loud? How their eyes lock onto you like they're watching a magician explain a trick they thought was supernatural? Yeah, because, they finally understood. You're not lucky, you're not guessing, you're built for this. Your brain is that terrifying combination of experience, intuition, pain, observation, memory, and raw instinct. Hybrid no one saw coming because no one else could survive the things you survived and still remain functional, let alone exceptional. People don't get it. Your mind is stitched together from nights you didn't sleep, days you were ignored, moments you were overlooked, battles you fought alone, and victories nobody congratulated you for. Every scar taught you something. Every disappointment recalibrated you. Every betrayal rewired you. Until one day, boom, you became the one everyone secretly reports to. The one they low-key check with before making a move. The unofficial strategist of every room you enter, and, it bothers them deeply. Because here's the thing they won't admit. You make complicated things look too easy. And when someone makes the impossible look easy, everybody else starts feeling stupid. Nobody likes feeling stupid. So instead of clapping for you, they get quiet. They stare, they glitch, they choke on their own pride. Because they suddenly realized you're not part of the crowd. You're the ceiling they'll never reach. You know what really sent them over the edge? That moment. That one moment. When they saw you solve something they were struggling with for months. Something they thought required a team, a committee, a let's revisit this later email. And you handled it while sipping water like it was nothing. They didn't breathe after that. Not a single inhale. Because now they're wondering, if they can do that so easily, what else are they capable of? What else indeed? And the funniest part? You're not even operating at full power yet. You're not even warmed up. You're still holding back out of politeness, out of fear of coming off too much, out of that little instinct you developed growing up. The instinct to shrink so others don't feel uncomfortable, but even your shrinking form is outsmarting everybody. Even your I'm tired version is outworking people's best effort. Even your I'll do it later brain runs laps around their focused one. Imagine if you actually pushed. Imagine if you actually unleashed. Imagine if you stopped being afraid of your own potential. They wouldn't just lose their breath, they'd lose consciousness. Here's the truth. As blunt as I can put it, they're intimidated because you see solutions before they even see the problem. You're not equal competition. You're a different species of thinker. You're not just gifted, you're inevitable. And every day, that realization hits them harder. You're the person they counted out, the person they talked down to, the person they assumed would stay behind them. But now they're watching you process, optimize, strategize, theorize, adapt, solve, analyze. And it's finally sinking in. You're the mind they will never outrun. You're the thinker they will never outthink. You're the solution they never expected. And every time you take a breath, they lose theirs. And the wild thing is, you're not even trying to intimidate anybody. You're literally just existing, just doing what your brain naturally does. And it's like every room you walk into gets this silent firmware update where everyone suddenly realizes, oh, damn, they're the one who actually knows what's going on. And it hits them in this ugly, quiet way, like a glitch they can't unsee. Because once people notice the difference between trying to be smart and actually being built different, it starts eating at them. It messes with their ego. It shakes their sense of control. You walk in with that, give me a sec vibe. And in that 1 sec, you decode the whole situation, like it's written in subtitles only. You can read, and they're sitting there pretending to take notes, pretending to keep up, pretending they understand your thought process, even though your brain is running on 12 layers they've never even unlocked. It's the way your mind catches details mid-sentence, the way you piece together contradictions in real time, the way you're like, wait, that doesn't add up. And suddenly the entire blueprint of the problem rearranges itself in your head. They watch it happen, they see it happening, and it scares the hell out of them, because they're realizing they can't hide anything from you. Not their motives, not their shortcuts, not their inconsistencies. You have this automatic lie detector built from trauma, instinct, and a childhood full of reading the room faster than adults did. You're not psychic, you're just observant in a way that makes people uncomfortable. They feel naked around you, mentally exposed, like you can see the notes they scribbled on the inside of their skulls. And it's kinda hilarious watching them try to act normal. They sit up straighter, they speak slower, they rehearse their sentences in real time because they know you're going to catch it. If they slip, you became the silent standard. The person everyone is low-key adjusting themselves around without even realizing it. You ever notice how they start re-explaining things to you? Like they're trying to prove they're contributing. How they wait for your reaction before they commit to an idea. How they peek at your face to see if they're on the right track. That's not respect. That's dependency mixed with fear. They don't want to admit it, but your brain became the gravitational pull in every space you enter. And, it's not even your fault you didn't audition for this role. They handed it to you the moment they realized you see 10 moves ahead. But the thing they didn't expect, the thing that's messing with them now, is how calm you are about it, how natural it feels for you, how you break a problem down like you're unwrapping a snack instead of dismantling a whole system. Meanwhile, they're sweating, they're whispering, their doubt spiraling. They're staring at you with that expression like, can you slow down just a little? But you can't. Your brain refuses to work on their speed. It jumps, it connects, it improvises, it innovates. And by the time they've processed step 1, you're already explaining step 6 like it's a warm-up. You're the reason people suddenly feel insecure about their own ideas. You're the reason they triple-check their work before showing it to you. You're the reason they hesitate before speaking up, because they know if they're wrong, you'll catch it instantly. And it's not like you're trying to embarrass them. You're literally just thinking, just following the internal blueprint your brain draws automatically. But watching you think feels like watching someone pick locks with their fingertips. Smooth, precise, inevitable. They can't breathe around that. They can't stay comfortable around that. They can't lie to themselves around that. Every time you speak, it's like you turn the lights on in a room they were hoping would stay dim. Every time you break down a situation, it's like you pull back a curtain they didn't want anyone looking behind. Every time you solve something they couldn't, it's like you remind them, in this effortless, terrifying way, that you're operating on a whole different mental firmware, and they're only now realizing it, only now figuring out you're the one who sees the whole board while they're still arguing about the rules, only now understanding that you're not here to fit in. You're here because this world accidentally raised someone who learned to survive by becoming sharper than the environment that tried to break them, and it's hitting them harder with every passing minute. The quiet dread that you're not just intelligent, you're inevitably intelligent, like the kind of mind life builds out of fire and pressure and situations that would have crushed anybody else. And while they're still trying to inhale, still trying to understand how you process things at this ridiculous speed, still trying to adjust their worldview to fit the new reality, you're already watching the next problem unfold in your head. Mapping out the moves, dissecting the angles, rearranging the outcomes, preparing to solve something they don't even know is coming yet. And the craziest part is how you're not even thinking about any of this while it's happening. You're not sitting there doing some dramatic internal monologue like, watch this. You're just being you. Your brain clicks into this hyper-functional mode automatically, like a muscle memory built from years of carrying responsibilities you never asked for, fixing situations no one else wanted to touch, cleaning up messes you didn't even make. And that's what really gets under their skin. The fact that everything they struggle with doesn't even make you flinch. You ever see that moment where someone asks a question, and before the sentence even finishes, your mind has already cracked open the answer? That split-second delay on their faces, that stunned little micro-expression like, wait, how did you think of that? They don't know that your whole life trained you for that speed, those nights lying awake with your mind running simulations, those mornings waking up with the solution already formed in your head, that constant mental rehearsal you went through alone. Because nobody else was gonna do it for you, and they're witnessing it now without knowing the backstory. To them it looks like some freakish talent, some supernatural clarity, but to you it's survival instinct fused with intellect. And that combination hits different. It's that thing you do where someone explains a problem and your eyes slightly shift because you're already zooming out, zooming in, reconstructing the whole thing in your mind. You don't even notice you do it, but they see it. They catch it. And suddenly, they're nervous because they know whatever's about to come out of your mouth will make their entire approach look outdated. People aren't used to being around someone who understands systems instead of symptoms. They're used to surface-level thinkers, people who only process what they're told, but you see the structure behind the structure. You see the unseen forces shaping things. You recognize patterns before they repeat. You catch inconsistencies before they become disasters. You have this way of speaking where you explain the solution like it's obvious, like, yeah, this is just how it works. And they nod along, even though they're completely lost, not because they want to lie, but because your clarity makes them feel like admitting confusion would expose the gap between you and them, and that gap is widening in real time. You've probably noticed how some people go quiet when you enter the discussion, how they suddenly don't have much to add, how they let you take over even when it wasn't your intention. It's not submission, it's relief mixed with insecurity. Like, thank God you're here, blended with, I hope I don't sound stupid next to you. You're not intimidating because you try to be. You're intimidating because your brain refuses to operate at their level. It naturally climbs higher, expands wider, thinks deeper. People don't know what to do with someone whose default setting is overdrive. And here's the part that silently eats them up. They know you're not done growing. They know this isn't your peak. They know you're still learning. still adapting, still downloading information from the world around you at a rate they can't match. Every time you experience something new, you integrate it instantly, not just remembering it, but absorbing it, weaving it into this massive internal system you've built. A system you didn't even know you were building, but it's there, working for you every minute of the day. You see relationships like blueprints. You see situations like maps. You see problems like puzzles. And you see yourself like someone who finally realized they were never too much. They were just placed around people who weren't enough for the level you were destined to reach. And they can feel you pulling away mentally. Not in a rude way, just in that subconscious, I'm outgrowing this space, way that they can't quite explain, but definitely feel. That's why they stare at you like that. That's why they get quiet mid-sentence. That's why they hesitate before asking you anything. Because they're bracing for that moment where you answer in a way that rearranges their whole understanding of the situation. They don't breathe right around someone who thinks like that. They don't relax around someone who sees through them that easily. They don't stay comfortable around someone who's always 3 conclusions ahead of the conversation. And while they're still processing what you said 5 minutes ago, your mind already moved on to the next angle, the next flaw, the next solution, the next path, the next evolution that they won't even notice until you point it out. Your brain is sprinting, their brain is jogging. And the distance between those 2 speeds grows every single day. And the moment they realized that, the moment they understood you're a whole different kind of mind, that was the exact moment the breath left their lungs. And you can practically see it in their posture at this point. That stiff little shift they do when you start speaking, like their whole body is trying to prep for impact. Because every time you open your mouth, it's like you drop a mental grenade they weren't ready for. Not because you're trying to flex, but because the way you process reality doesn't match the watered-down versions they're used to. You ever notice how they start second-guessing themselves the moment you walk into the room? How someone will be halfway through explaining something, then they catch a glimpse of your face and suddenly they're like, actually, I might be wrong. Yeah, that's because they feel that invisible pressure your mind radiates, that quiet intensity of someone who actually gets it, who actually sees it, who actually knows what they're talking about. You've got this thing, this internal sharpness, that makes people feel like they're being evaluated even when you're just listening. They can't tell whether you're analyzing them or analyzing the entire situation, or analyzing the underlying psychology behind the situation. And the truth is, you're analyzing all of it simultaneously, and you don't even realize you're doing it. Your brain is multitasking on a level that looks like wizardry to them. You're catching patterns in the tone of someone's voice, the timing of their pauses, the gaps in their logic, the mismatch between what they say and what they mean. This isn't thinking hard for you. This is your resting state, your default setting. And it's unsettling to people who never upgraded past basic introspection. There's this moment that keeps happening more often now, where someone presents a plan, an idea, a theory, whatever, and you sit there for like 3 seconds, just 3 seconds, with that hold on face. And in those 3 seconds, you've already mentally reconstructed the entire scenario, checked for contradictions, spotted loopholes, predicted outcomes, and found a better route. And they know it. They can feel it. That silence between your inhale and your next sentence becomes the most intimidating part of the whole day for them, because they know that when you speak, you're about to shift the direction of everything. Not dramatically, not theatrically, just in that efficient, surgical, here's the actual problem way that cuts through all the noise. Your clarity became their discomfort without you even trying. It's the way you call out the missing piece of the puzzle like it was obvious, even though they completely missed it. It's the way you break down a situation with this calm, almost bored tone, like your mind has already run through the consequences 10 times before you opened your mouth. It's the way you stay 3 layers ahead while they're still trying to understand the surface. People can't breathe around that kind of intelligence. Not the fragile ones. Not the ones who built their confidence on pretending to be the smartest person in their circle. Not the ones who rely on confusion and chaos to maintain control. And the funniest thing, is that you're not even interested in dominating anybody. You're just trying to solve whatever's in front of you. You're just trying to make sense of things. You're just trying to keep the world functioning in a way that doesn't fall apart. But every time you fix something, it highlights how much they couldn't fix. Every time you clarify something, it exposes how much they misunderstood. Every time you take initiative, it reveals how much they procrastinated. Your mental efficiency became a mirror they weren't ready to look into, and they're seeing things they can't unsee. Their own laziness, their own lack of depth, their own slow processing speed compared to yours. It's not your fault, but it is your impact.